All right, it is Monday morning, and last night so for context, I had tried to read Schadenfreude when it came out. Made it a little less than 300 pages in, and decided it was not for me, or at least not the right time for me to do that. I'm not about to start reading Schadenfreude again. But last night I got to thinking, should I? And instead of doing that, I decided to start a book that I had begun in anticipation of Schadenfreude, which has some sort of connection to it. And that is Michael Kohlhaas by Heinrich von Kleist. And I probably mispronounced that, but you might have heard of this book. I got about halfway through it last night. It's about this horse trader who ends up going on this war against a man who wronged him. And Franz Kafka said, "This is a story I read with true piety. It carries me along on waves of wonder." Yeah, basically the titular character, Michael Kohlhaas, which it's not that, it's some more German pronunciation, but it says he has been wronged. First, his finest horses are unfairly confiscated and mistreated by a swine of a nobleman, and the abuses keep piling up from there. And so he kind of goes off on this quest for vengeance, running across people like Martin Luther even, which is interesting. There's definitely a certain religious element to this and the idea of what is just and unjust. But I'm going to read the second half today and maybe give some more thoughts on it. But it's a very interesting book, very compelling, very fast-paced. I didn't know what to expect going into this, but yeah, so far, so good. I finished it. My sassy Batman mug, as I refer to it. Hell of a book. Hell of a lot of fun. Roberto Bolaño is quoted on the back. I read the Franz Kafka quote earlier. Bolaño says, "A story about bravery and its twin, stupidity." And I think that's fair. I think he nailed it. Of course, the heat would kick on right now. Yeah, fantastic book. Highly recommend. It's fun. It also gives you some things to think about. Like, there were many times where Kohlhaas could have simply chose to forgive and to let go, or to just compromise and take some other form of restitution other than the very, very specific form that he wished to receive. And it would have been a lot better for him in every way. I might get into some spoilers. Turn away now. Okay, so at the end of the book, last morning, he's beheaded, and his refusal to ever compromise or to, I think arrogance and pride play a part in his downfall, for sure. This was written or published in 1810 in German originally, but perhaps because of the translation, it feels very current and new and lively. But I think pride plays a big part in this book. There's a interesting bit near the end about this thing that was supposedly going to potentially save his life. There's this like old kind of fortune teller lady who has given him this sheet of paper which tells him like 3 things that are very important for the crown to know. And instead of finding a way to use that to save his life, he does kind of what you expect him to do. At the very end, he eats the paper And you're like, okay, well, now he has the knowledge, and if anyone wants that knowledge, they have to save him. But no, he eats it, glares at the guy who knows what 3 questions are answered on that paper and that are very important. The guy like falls out and then he gets beheaded, and it's just the end. So the only consolation in his final moments is that the guy who he was trying to get back at, who's like his whole quest for revenge, had also been sentenced to death. I don't know. There's probably a lot more I could say about this if I thought a little bit more, but I don't think I want to get too into the nitty-gritty of it. I think I would need more time to process for starters, but as just a enjoyable read, it was tops. I mean, I had a blast reading this, which I was not expecting. I was expecting it to be something much more tedious, much less relevant, I guess. But the justice system screwing a man over and then him making terrible decisions thereafter until it leads to his death just felt like something that would happen today. Honestly, there's been a million kind of stories like this since this came out. Yeah, I know I spoiled it a little bit, but if you haven't read it, go read it. I don't know. Hell of a book. Absolute blast. I don't know how it relates to Schadenfreude and the 300 some odd pages that I read of that, but maybe I just didn't get to that bit, or maybe I was reading it too fast. Who knows? But yeah, banger. We're calling it. And see you next time.